You know how in sales you can do and say everything right, but if you can't get through their toughest concerns at the end of the sales conversation, then the deal won't close. You can ask the best discovery questions, give a world-class pitch, have a better value from your perspective compared to your competition. But if the prospect doesn't say that one final yes, the rest really doesn't matter. Everything in sales comes down to this one final moment. Is the prospect going to say yes and move forward with you or not? In this video, I'm going to show you one question that you need to start using right now to close more deals. I've been selling for a very long time before I stumbled upon this question. But once I did, I started using it and realized that the more I used it, then the more people said yes to what I was selling. So today, I promise you, by the time you finish watching this video, you will learn that one question that has helped me so much throughout my sales career. And as a bonus, I'm going to share with you the 5 psychological reasons why it works. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jason Forrest, CEO of FPG.com, where we recruit, train, and build the best sales teams that want to be known for as having the best sales experience in their industry. I do these videos for free because I don't want you to waste your money on bad sales advice. So I want to offer you advice that's better for free. So here is the question that you must start using right now. Suppose I could blank, would you move forward with us today? Or another way you could ask it is, if I could blank, then would you move forward with us today? So here are 4 different ways that you could use this question in the real world. Suppose I could talk through the terms and we could come to a mutual agreement, then would you move forward today? Suppose you felt resolved around our price, then would you move forward today? Suppose I could come up with another solution to solve blank problem, then would you move forward today? Suppose I was able to include blank, then would you move forward today? Look, this one only applies if you're able to do that and if it's profitable for your company to include that item for free. All right, this communication strategy is neuro-linguistic programming strategy. It's called an embedded question, and it comes from the modality of hypnosis or hypnotherapy. So basically what's happening in the brain is when you ask an embedded question, you are tying up the conscious mind with the first part of the question, suppose I was able to blank, so that you can have a straightforward request with the prospect's subconscious mind. See, that straightforward request is, would you move forward today? The problem is most people just ask the question, are you ready to move forward today? This is a huge problem because when you ask this as a direct question, then you are asking that question to your prospect's conscious mind, and their conscious mind is just going to say no. I covered this already in a YouTube video on where I went into much more depth on the conscious mind versus the subconscious mind, and we'll put that link in the notes below this video. So go ahead and watch that video after this video to learn more about this powerful concept. But back to this lesson. So once you ask that suppose question or the if-then question, the prospect will either say yes or maybe. See, both of those answers are perfect. So don't get disappointed with the maybe, because a maybe is a gateway to a yes. I'll say it again. A maybe is a gateway to a yes. You really can't go from a no to a yes without going through the word maybe. There's too much resistance in the prospect's mind. So it's important that you celebrate that the prospect gave you a maybe. You got to celebrate it. See, I believe that gratitude is the unyielding fuel for courage. And so you got to make sure you kind of celebrate, acknowledge those wins. You got to build up your courage through building up your gratitude. And once you do that, then you have the fuel to handle the next objection. And then of course you close again. Look, in the end, an embedded question like the suppose or the if then is an effective persuasion strategy for these 5 psychological reasons. Number 1, it bypasses the automatic defenses of your prospect, and it reduces their resistance of forming an automatic counter argument. That's the last thing that we want, right? We do not want to be in this place where we're debating the customer. We never want to do that. We want to make it resistance-free. We want to make it very easy and simple for them to just say yes. So we never want to put them in a situation where they feel like they're arguing with us or we're debating them. Number two, it allows you to frame the question and create an assumption that the prospect is agreeing to buy as long as we resolve their concern, right? Just think about this. So when you say, hey, suppose we're able to resolve X, then would you move forward today? If they say yes to that, or they say maybe, then again, there's an assumption there that we're going to solve this thing over here, and then they're just going to move forward. So we've basically created an assumptive close inside of this question. So pretty cool, right? Number three, it directs the prospect's attention to the next obstacle in the way. So the prospect is now committed and focused on what they need to decide next. This is a big one because buying is very complicated, or at least it is in most cases, right? There's all these little decisions that a person really has to make in order to make the overall final decision if they're going to buy or not buy. So what you're doing as a great sales advisor, as a great sales warrior, as a great sales professional, is that you're directing the prospect's attention to what's the specific next thing they need to pay attention to, the next obstacle, in order to kind of solve that problem so that they can then solve the next problem, and whatever the next problem is, right? It's very important to do that. If you don't do that, then the prospect gets very overwhelmed. When they get overwhelmed, they get ambiguity, and that ambiguity is death. They end up just kind of quitting before they succeed, and they usually end up either not buying from anyone, or they buy from the prospect that the situation or the salesperson that makes it simplest and easiest for them to move forward. All right, number four, you're inducing curiosity with your prospect, which is a much better emotional state for them to be in than the uncertain emotional state they were in when they first gave you their concern. Just think about this, right? The emotional state they first were in was a state of anguish or anxiety or worry or uncertainty, whatever those things are. Those are not healthy places. No one wants to be in that state. And the last thing they want to do is they want to anchor you to that state. Can you imagine if every time they think about you, then they think of anxiety, or they think of worry, or they think of overwhelmness? That's not what you want, is it? You want to anchor you to the state of freedom and peace and resolution and downstream kind of easiness. That's what you really want. And so this is what you're able to do. By shifting this, you put them in this very positive state of curiosity. And that curiosity, again, is a gateway to them saying yes. And number five, you're prompting their brain to consider your point of view rationally versus emotionally. See, you're causing their brain power to move from their amygdala, which is about fighting you or fleeing you or freezing or fawning. These are all these things that this kind of 10 million-year-old brain that we have, the amygdala, it's what happens, right? And so we want them out of their amygdala, and we want to push them or lead them into their prefrontal cortex, which allows them to use their highest level of intelligence to hear what you have to say. That's it. So now you have the one question that you can start using to close more sales, and 5 psychological reasons why that question works. So when I learned the power of embedded questions and how it truly helped me remove the unnecessary resistance that my prospects had from making a decision to improve their life, it changed everything for me. So right now, just feel how many new clients' problems that you can solve right now when you use this question to unlock the resistance that your prospects have from saying yes to taking action. Look, I know that you have a desire to improve businesses and personal lives, or else you wouldn't be watching this video. And now you also have a simple question that you can use to allow you to help more people get what they're truly wanting. All you have to do now is execute. Until next time, this is Jason Forrest. Push yourself to become a better version of you.